Good morning, everyone. My name is Lucia Soria, and I am the chair of the South Dade Chamber of Commerce. And I'm very excited to be here today as we kick off Military Appreciation Month with some extraordinary women sitting with me today. I'd like to introduce Julie Robinson with the South Dade Veterans Alliance, as well as Laura Whitfield with United Way Mission United. And today we're here because we have to have a really important conversation.
Yeah.
We have to support our women in the military. And we always have to remember that we are free because of the brave. And what happens after our military women come out of service. And that's what we're here to talk today. I'm very excited to be part of this conversation with you because for the first time, South Dade will be hosting this wonderful conference that you both, along with many other partners, have come together to put together as a resource fair, basically in a celebration of our women in the military. So let's backtrack a little bit. Julie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the South Day Veterans Alliance?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Julie Robinson. I'm so grateful to be here this morning. Thank you for Lucia for inviting me. Thank you, Laura, so much for being a part of this amazing opportunity. South Day Veterans Alliance was an organization that was birthed out of my working for the Department of Veteran Affairs and recognizing that there were no services being offered to veterans, military, or the military community in South Dade. And so it was necessary to launch a program that will give the necessary support to women veterans and the veterans in the South Dade community.
Excellent. Thank you, Laura. Tell me a little bit about yourself and
Mhm.
about United Way Mission United.
Mhm. Well, thank you, Lucia, and I really appreciate being here as well and working with Julie and on this amazing conference. I am a Marine Corps veteran. I served 9 years in the Marine Corps, 1980 through 89, and after transitioning did many different things in my career, as most veterans kind of try different things after leaving the military, but found my home here in Miami with United Way Miami and the Mission United program. I had been doing the program in Orlando before coming here, and was asked to come to Miami and look at rebuilding the program and looking at the services that we provide to veterans and their families. It really is about helping that transition be as smooth and successful as possible. A lot of veterans have barriers to transition and reintegrating back to the community. So my team and I, we're all veterans, and we work to connect veterans to the many resources that are available in Miami-Dade to help them to be successful in that transition.
Well, obviously, transition is very important. And when I'm listening to you both, I'm thinking, man, these are some really good kept secrets. How do we get the word out that these resources are out there? And of course, the chamber being a great vehicle or opportunity to do that. So, common threads, right? We're here to talk today about common threads of military women in conference. Why did we name it Common Threads? Who wants to tell me?
Well, I can start. Common Threads came about because we not only have women veterans who come from all five branches of the military, but they all have something we all have in common. So it was not just about one branch or the other branch, but all of them intertwined. And what did we all have in common? We all have the fact that we have all served our country. We all have women's issues. We all have the need and the support of each other in order to make things happen for us, ourselves, women. The women that are, we'll sometimes always feel as if we're invisible. We have those things in common. So we wanted to do something that would allow the women to feel that they're a part of something big, something different, and something that is just for them.
Mhm.
Well, what happens when you intertwine all these threads together, right? There's a real strength there. There's a real bond there that can be
Yes.
unbreakable.
Mhm.
So tell me a little bit about your perspective and how this
Mhm.
conference came about and Why is it so needed?
Mhm. As Julie said, yes, we do have common experiences, and not only those of us who served and are civilians now, but the women that are still serving.
Right.
That is also part of that common thread that we want to be able to provide them and the women veterans information about the resources that are available, information that's going to help them to become more resilient in their transition. And that was it was interesting that you said that that bond gets stronger, and it really does when you are having to experience different challenges in your life. One of the ways that you overcome those challenges is by building resilience and coming together with someone who has a shared experience to help you. You don't feel invisible. You don't feel like you're alone. So those are some of the things that really resonated with me when we came up with the name Common Threads.
Well, I think
Right.
it's an excellent name because when you think of shared experiences, right? Sometimes you feel that when you're in a situation, you're alone. And quite frankly, none of us are alone. We
Right.
just have to take the blinders off
Mhm.
and speak our truth and talk about what we're experiencing. And we're going to find someone else who's had a similar experience. And perhaps their path to getting over that hurdle is something that we needed to hear at that moment. So I completely applaud this conference. And I know there's a lot of people that have come together. And I don't want to touch the conference yet because it's 2 days filled of amazing opportunities and resources. But I do want to talk about the partners that have come together to make this conference a reality. And one of them, although Brian Fonseca could not be here with FIU, tell me how FIU came into the play, because obviously as a community university, they are one of the heart and souls of our community. Tell me a little bit how they came about.
Well, amazingly, we were at the honor flight. Brian and I were both at honor flight recognition over at the Miami Military Museum. And if you know me, Laura and Lucia, you both know me well. I'm always thinking. And so there was a vision in my heart about um, bringing women together because, as you know, the initiative Women in the Community Supporting Women in Uniform. So this was a follow up to after the planning the resilience in the lives of women veterans. That first kickoff, I decided that okay, we may need to go a little further. What else can we do after we brought the awareness to follow up with the resources and support that women would need? Brian Fonseca just happens to be at the honor flight, and I said, Brian, this is what I envision, and his words were, Julie, let's do it. And so here we are.
Mhm.
So FIU got on board. They have been on board. They have been a great instrument for us, a great resource for us. And there's nothing that we don't need that we need from FIU, as they are helping us to identify additional resources, being able to provide educational opportunities and things for veterans and women and support them. They believe in the vision that women are needing additional resources and women need to be recognized for what they have done in the service. So they're on board, and I'm so appreciative to that.
Absolutely. They've always been on board with everything that the chamber has also reached out with so many educational opportunities in so many different areas. So let's talk a little bit about the other partnerships that are on board. Laura, tell me a little bit about who else is coming to the table to push this conference forward.
Well, we definitely have.
Well, in fact, why don't we put the
Yes.
flyer up?
Yeah.
Let's put the flyer
let's
up.
do
Let's
that.
take a look at that.
Yeah. So so we have some of our elected officials that are helping to sponsor. Chairman Diaz. We have. Commissioner Higgins and McGee, as well as representatives from Southern Command. We also have the Miami Museum that is a military museum that is has been helping. We have Mujer and the women's. I'm trying to remember all of them.
Oh, you don't need
Julie.
to remember
Right,
all of
yeah,
them. The
yeah.
flyers up, and people could
Wonderful.
see the amount of
Yes.
community support this conference
Wonderful.
has, because we have to recognize the fact
Mhm.
that it's a need.
Mhm.
I do.
Mhm.
I really would like to recognize community health of the
Yes.
community health initiative (CHI)
Yes.
because
Mhm.
Ms. Carroll has been
Mhm.
played a major role in what we have done, and she's not here today with us, but she has been up front and been with us and
Mhm.
worked very diligently to be sure that this conference will go the way it has been planned.
Mhm.
Well, one of the things that I know from my community involvement is that sometimes all you have to do is ask.
Mhm.
There are a lot of people out there who want to do the right thing, but sometimes
Right.
they're not pulled in the right direction. So I like that this is the first, and hopefully many more to come.
Mhm.
So let's talk a little bit about the resources and what some of our ladies that are in the service or that are exiting the service are going through. And it's quite devastating when you look at the statistics that you presented to us. And you talked a little bit about trauma
Mhm.
and PTSD and some of the things that cause that isolation and cause that depression. So let's talk a little bit about what is experience, what is the common thread of those experiences, and then let's go ahead and touch on the different resources that the actual conference is going to have. Laura, you want to start?
Well, actually, I think Julie should start
With the
the
MST.
yeah,
Yes.
that, and then
Okay.
I'll talk about
Sure.
the other
There is
resources.
the statistics as you see on the documents that I provided you, that 1 in 5 women report experiencing MST, and 1 in 3 reports experiencing intimate partner violence. MST is military sexual trauma. Military sexual trauma looks a lot of different ways. So it's not just the sexual harassment, it's the very act of the sexual assault itself. It can be bullying someone into a sexual act. So you find that in the military that there are women who experience sexual trauma, as I am a survivor, experience this disconnect, not only to the military but to the world, that you're no longer good enough. You lose your self-esteem. You go into this shell where you think that nobody sees you and nobody really cares. And that is a devastating place to be when you are serving your country, when you've given your life for the sake of your country. How many women do we have out there that has not reported? The statistics state that there's 1 in 5, but there are more than just 1 in 5
Sure.
because they don't count the others. I did my capstone on military sexual trauma, a threat to our national security. And I found that in that report, that even though the document that went to DOD stated that it was 6,053 reports of sexual assault. And then when they did the survey, that the survey actually said that it was 200,000.
Wow.
200,000
Wow.
unreported cases of sexual assault. We're talking about the United States military. How many of those are women? And even though we're talking about women today, do you know how devastating that is for a man as well? And I just think that military sexual trauma and intimate partner violence is something that should be on the forefront of everything in the minds of everybody who's elected officials and anybody that is running for office, that we can change the very that it seems to be the culture of the United States military, where you have now records of even the military academies are having this unease about military sexual trauma, and even in the academies, young kids are being sexually assaulted. We have to do something. So that's where the military sexual trauma piece goes. We have 2.2 million women that are currently serving. And as Laura said, we have to be here to support those women. What are we going to do with a world full of people who have not been treated, provided the resources? It is it says that veterans who suffer MST are 5 times more likely to develop PTSD, and women are more than likely to commit suicide than their civilian counterparts. If you look at the statistics, you will see that women veterans commit suicide at a higher rate than men veterans do. Why? Because they have something that's hidden and something that is hurting them so much that they don't feel like they have a right to be in this world or even serve. If the country that I served doesn't care about me, why should I even care about myself? Been in that dark place. And it is my heart and my hopes that that's what we are here for, that we would support women. Because even if it's not military sexual trauma, we have women issues. There are issues among us. There's so many other reasons why, promotions and all
Well,
these other things, but we're gonna
yeah,
Yeah.
your
go.
passion is evident, and
Mhm.
it's a blessing to the strength that you have, that you were able to pull yourself out of this place, and from that experience, that traumatic experience, you are now trying to pave the way forward for healing,
Yes.
for many other women. So this conference that you guys have worked so hard on, it's a 2-day conference. The
Mhm.
first day, I know we're going to have workshops and so forth, and the workshops are going to talk on health and wellness, right? We're going to talk
Mhm.
about public policy, transition, financial empowerment, entrepreneurship, and veteran home ownership, because those are all issues
Yes.
that are quite real to all our military personnel
Mhm.
exiting our military. So tell me a little bit about the makeup of how these workshops are going to be.
Mhm.
Is there room for more people to register? Have we sold
Absolutely.
out? So let's get into the nitty gritty.
Okay.
All right, let's
Okay.
take into the nitty gritty
Sure,
of the
sure.
curriculum that you guys have worked so hard based on your own experiences, that you feel are the resources that these women need in order to move forward,
Mhm.
because they may not be existing, but as we bring it to the community today,
Mhm.
some other folks may step up and say, hey, I can help with this, or I know about this resource, or I have some funding that I could put forth to push this endeavor forth. So let's get into that nitty gritty.
Mhm. Wonderful.
Tell me a little
Wonderful.
bit about the curriculum you've put together.
Thank you, Lucia, and Julie. I'm always inspired by you in sharing your story. And we have the tagline for the conference: "Heal old wounds, learn new skills, or grow new skills, and build resilient lives." So that really informed the structure of the program, of the event. It does start on May 13th, the afternoon of May 13th at 12:30. We'll be checking in the attendees. And the 13th, the afternoon of the 13th, is really focused on more of the healing pieces of the conference. We have the amazing instructors and founders of Connected Warriors, which is a yoga informed therapy technique for anyone who has been experiencing trauma and PTSD. So we have Judy Weaver, who's the founder of Connected Warriors, with two of her staff members that are going to be presenting information, but also the yoga practice
Okay.
that and meditation practice that really has proven to be very healing in someone who's dealing with trauma. So pretty much the afternoon is set for those type of sessions, what we're
Okay.
calling intensives,
Mhm.
and we will have staff on hand, licensed. Therapists and professionals that mental health professionals that can meet with any women that are in attendance, one-on-one or in small groups. So we've got the Miami Vet Center will have some of their therapists, as well as Mujer and various other professionals
Well,
that will be available.
that's fantastic that these
Mhm.
community leaders have come together,
Mhm.
to help build that resilience and to help
Yes.
in that healing process. So,
Mhm.
we're a very large county. You know, we have resources everywhere, but it seems to me that this is very much focused on South Dade. And with the enormous number of military personnel that we have in our area, do you find that some of these resources that may be found in other parts of the county are lacking in South Dade? And perhaps one of the reasons why maybe some of these folks who would otherwise be knocking at the door to get the much needed help are not doing so?
Well, you know, South Dade, as a former employee of the Department of Veteran Affairs, I work very closely with Shane Suzuki, who is Public Affairs. I was the first community employment coordinator for the Department of Veteran Affairs, so I do my research. And in my research, it was found that there were limited resources available in the South Dade area. So as I founded South Dade Veterans Alliance, I recognized that it was necessary because, like you said, there's an enormous amount of military personnel here in the South Dade area. Why we do not have the necessary resources to make them heal, hold, and build, and have resilient lives. And we need to really communicate that to those that are in the powers to be, that we really need the same opportunities that is being offered in every other place, that South Dade deserves those same types of resources, because we served in the same military. We gave our lives for the sake of this country. And now we need to ask our country, so what are you gonna do for us?
Right. So one of the things you've listed here is entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And you know, there are a lot of other community associations such as the Economic Development Council of South Dade. Now, there's a lot of grant work that they have, and there's a lot of programming that they've launched to help with our military who want to become business owners. There's so much help out there. There's so much information. There's so much hand holding that can be done and resources. So I think we need to be advocates of really putting out the information, of being that mentor to someone else. Because as these ladies come to this conference and it's the start of the healing for them, I would love to see you add a mentorship program where they may take someone else who was just in their place a year or two ago and say, you know what, I was there. Look at me now, and this is how I did it. Let's do it together. Because that speaks volumes. Because as women, right, we always talk about we need to build each other up rather than tear each other down. So if we can even establish moving forward a mentorship program and spread the information, right? We don't want to keep secrets. We want to talk. We want to put it out there, because in conversation and in experience sharing, there is healing and there's promoting us to propel forward. So, you know, I know that housing is a really big issue.
Yes.
I mean, we live in one of the most expensive, most beautiful cities in the world, but very expensive to live here. So, you know, what can we do as a community? Who can we approach? Can we approach developers? Is there anything anyone is doing specifically to address the issue of being able to own your own home, right? The American dream of having your own home. Laura?
Well, one of the things with my program, Mission United, we do help with financial stability, and so we're going to have one of our financial coaches from the Center for Financial Stability do a breakout session about money management and understanding, you know, how to change behaviors that may not help in saving for home ownership. One of the challenges that a lot of veterans have is that you know, our debt to income ratio does not allow us to really be able to be in the running for home ownership. We do have that benefit of the VA home loan, and so we do have the home lady, Elaine Stevens, who is coming in and she's been doing this work for over 20 years, working with veterans to get them ready to take advantage of that certificate of eligibility and own a home. But to your point, Lucia, home ownership in Miami-Dade is even out of reach for many. So we help with emergency financial assistance and some monies for moving cost at Mission United. But there's no inventory
Right.
really to choose from. One of the things that we are convening some partners with, and definitely can talk about this, later, is that we want to build a veterans village of some sort.
Right.
And so we're in the beginning stages, but we're looking at what partners will come to the table with us. And it's a community wide, it's not just United Way. We're
Sure.
talking about all organizations
Mhm.
that are working with veterans that want to help with this housing crisis, because veterans sometimes are penalized
Right.
because of being over income for a lot of the federal programs, but they're working and one paycheck away from being homeless.
Wow.
So
Correct.
that's the path that we're looking at, convening a group to really look at this over the next few years and getting that accomplished. It's being done across the country in different places. We have a lot of models to look at. We can do that in Miami-Dade.
Absolutely, we can do that in
Definitely.
Miami-Dade, especially,
Mhm.
with South Dade, we still have
Mhm.
land
Yeah,
Yes.
available.
Mhm.
We have definitely the population. I think we have
Mhm.
a lot of community interest. We
Mhm.
have a lot of community support.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited for what is to come. I'm
Mhm.
excited that you've worked so hard to take your own experiences and put it on the table, nice and clear, being real, and being able to offer the resources to move on.
Mhm.
And that's very exciting to me as a person who has nothing but respect for everyone that is serving and has served, because again, as I opened up, we are free because of the brave, because of the men and women that go out there and risk their lives every single day. We have to bring this to a close, but I think that it's really important to have a second conversation post conference
Yes.
and to see what details you can provide about this village, which sounds extremely exciting.
Right.
And I really think everyone, all our commissioners should be all over that. Our community leaders should be all over that.
We have gotten
because
letters
that-
of support.
what a
already.
way to say thank you.
Mhm.
What a way to say
Mhm.
thank you. So
Mhm.
I know our time is coming to the end.
Mhm.
So I really appreciate you being here today. I wish you most luck. I will see you on Friday, May
Mhm.
13th.
Thank
And
you.
on behalf of the chamber,
Mhm.
again, thank you for everything that you do for us and our community. And we're here to help you and support you.
Mhm.
And mark your calendars, because on June 9th, we have our Ladies of Legacy luncheon, which also highlights a lot of women in leadership. And those are the kinds of leaders that we want to go to ask for and receive the help to make our community a better place.
Thank you
Mhm.
so much
So-
for
Thank
allowing
you.
us to be here.
My
Lucia.
pleasure. So
Thank
on
you so
behalf
much.
of the chamber, have a very wonderful and safe